All right, folks, we're going to get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Zdrojewski, and I have two roles. One role is in the K-12 world. I'm the Director of Technology at the Oakfield, Alabama Central School District as of about 3 weeks ago. Prior to that, thank you, I was for 14 years a technology education teacher at Amherst Middle School, 7th and 8th grade. That's my K-12 world. The other world now in higher ed, since 2012, I am an online adjunct instructor in the Canisius College program for educational technologies. So my information is on the projector stand there, the LCD projector there. If you're interested in one of my cards for contact information and information about our program, it's there for you to check it out. So in the 20 minutes I have here with you today, we're going to talk about Edmodo. How many people have used Edmodo in some capacity? All right, good. So many people in the audience have. We have used it at Canisius College since the beginning because Canisius started out with using Blackboard, then they migrated to Angel, and then when they retired Angel, they moved to Desire to Learn. Has anybody used Desire to Learn? Well, I had no desire to learn, yet another new LMS, because I was very comfortable as a K-12 teacher working with Edmodo. So I brought the idea to Canisius and I said, can we run just in our program alone, since we're teaching pre-service or existing teachers, can we teach them adopt the LMS of Edmodo for here, because then they could use it with their students. It's kind of a two birds with one stone scenario. And they agreed to that as a pilot. Went so well that now we have other departments at Canisius wanting to do what the ed tech guys are doing. So it's caught on pretty well. So the top 10 things that I use Edmodo for, mostly in K-12 but also in higher ed, is assignments being the number one thing. An easy way to post an assignment with all the attachments and links and all the resources needed to do that assignment, and then a place for them to securely turn that in with date and time stamped like you might be used to it with any LMS. Second thing that I am very highly interested in using Edmodo for is engaging all the students in discussion posts, especially when I have students that are online. In my case, at Canisius College, it's a completely online program, so we do not have a face-to-face component. In the K-12 world, since I do have a blended approach, it was great to have the ability to have all students be heard. So it's not just those that are willing to raise their hand, those that are not intimidated, but actually every person have something to say for the group to respond to. Keeping everyone informed, notifications are really big with Edmodo because they are available on all platforms, Android, iOS, Windows, you name it. You can have push notifications to your device when something occurs. You can also subscribe to email and text-based alerts as well. So notifications are a great way to keep everyone informed, and those are completely free as part of the Edmodo package. It's a one-stop shop that's easier to update, and I say easier as compared to my School World website, the teacher website they would give us in our district to update. Much more difficult to do that, much easier to do inside of Edmodo. I call it posting at the speed of thought. Middle of class, I might have a really good resource that comes to mind. I can just post it right on the wall, and now instantly everyone has access to it. As compared to the olden days, where we would update a website, you'd have to log in, find the right section, upload attachments, etc. Then fifth thing is the online quizzes, polls, and pre-made questions. Now in the higher ed world, you guys may not be tied in so much to the whole Common Core standards movement, but Edmodo has tied in what they call Snapshot, which is a way for a teacher to say, I need Common Core 5A and 6B. And you just specify the standard. Edmodo then creates the questions from a pre-made bank of questions for you. So you can have ready-made tests of pre-made questions, or the start from scratch method where you create your own individual questions for your bank. Has a simplified gradebook, very easy for myself to go in and drop in grades and students to check their grades. The unlimited online file storage, not many people realize this, but Edmodo does give you unlimited storage as long as each file is under 100 megabytes. So as long as you can live within that mode and not have huge video files perhaps, you can have unlimited file storage, just like similar to Google Drive would be. Unified calendar, so all assignments automatically get dropped on the calendar anytime you post an assignment. The apps are free and paid. It has its own Edmodo app store, so with a single sign-on, when you're inside the Edmodo world, you can go and install certain apps for groups of students. And then my professional learning network, so more for me as a professional to connect with other educators that are teaching similar things or professional development for myself. So that's my quick rundown of the top 10 things. What I want to do now is go into the interface itself and dig a little bit deeper with some of the different features here. So since many of you said you already have seen the interface, I won't spend a whole lot of time pointing out the areas here, but as you can see, it's all organized roughly around the center of the screen. The center of the screen here, as I scroll down, is going to be the complete history of my class as it's going on. Right now I'm teaching EDT 504 that is running in a 6-week format, which is normally 8 weeks during the semester. And the most recent items are always at the top. And a gentleman in the audience here actually asked about this. This is a feature that they released only about 2 to 3 weeks ago, and it's known as the pinned post. And if I need to have something seen by all students, for example, this one here was about references in APA format, I wanted to make sure everybody saw that. So not only did I just post it on the wall, but I used the little link that says pin post. For example, I'll do it now and it will pin that post. So now what I just pinned now is at the top of the screen. So if I don't need it there anymore, I can just simply unclick it and there's no longer a pinned post. But when you're logged in as a teacher account, you will see on the top right-hand corner of every post the ability to click that. So let me make sure I have the one I was looking for. Right, that's the one I want to have at the top. So I typically do that every couple of days. I change the pin post at the top so students have the ability to get certain information that I need to make sure reaches them. Also now how I organize my course, I create an overall group. So I've created the EDT 504 group. But since we deal with different information each week, I've created small category groups. How many people know how to do that? Okay, let me show you how to do that. That's in terms of organization, that may help, because when students are looking for, let's say, a Mod 2 discussion post, you don't want them looking through the big wall of information, which might be hundreds of posts. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. So by telling students to post and comment within specific smaller groups makes it more manageable. So especially for online courses, this has been one of the big recommendations that teachers do inside of Edmodo. So we'll start from scratch here. Pretend I'm teaching my next fall course. I would go over to the groups area, and where it says create a group, we would give it a name. So I'll call it Fall EDT 508, I believe I'm teaching. So they have, this is kind of geared more towards the K-12 world, but as you can see, it is also a higher ed tool. The makers of Edmodo have said that their focus has been the K-12 market, but there's no reason why a higher ed group could not use it for either professional development or for online classes like we do at Canisius. So I'll choose that. We'll say that we are a computer technology area and create the group. So it had just created the group. I could see it's over there on the left-hand side now. The description is optional. You could put in fall semester with Rob Zdrojewski at Canisius College, etc., something like that. And then I click finish. Now, in order to have those small groups created, notice right underneath the navigation it says create a small group. So this is where I would maybe call it either Mod 1 or Week 1 and create. And then you do the same thing for Week 2 and so forth. And so by doing that, we now have the ability to kind of categorize where things would be for each week. Let's say in Week 1 I need to have a Google Doc available for them, the kind of the intro to the course and maybe even the syllabus. What I would do then is post it. So I would go to my note area and say, here is the syllabus for our course. And I tend to store all of my documents in Google Drive. I like to use Google Drive. I'm not a big fan of PDFs or Microsoft Office, because I like to use tools that are completely online so I can access them from wherever. I don't have to worry about carrying a flash drive around, or the version of Word at home versus the version of Word at school is different. All those things go away when you just live your life inside of the Google environment. So let's say I'm looking for my specific class here for 508. And I have my syllabus right there as a Google Doc. And here's the advantage here too. This is a living document. So if I decide a day or two or a week down the road to change something in here, I don't have to re-upload an attachment. I don't have to attach a new PDF. It's just all live in real time. So I believe in living documents like this as opposed to dead documents, which would be a Microsoft Word document, because it exists as it exists, and if it's not an online version, you're not always going to be seeing the most recent version when you open it. So I'm going to just grab the link right up top, and I'm looking here. I can tell that I've shared it, and I previously have used this, so it's shared to the world. So anyone that has that link is going to be able to get to this document. And so back to Edmodo. When you attach things, you either are attaching a file, a link, something from your library, your account-based library here, and that's for scheduling the message after, kind of in the future, like a future post. So I just grabbed a link from my Google Doc. I'll paste it in there. When you click on the second box, it usually grabs the title very nicely from whatever it's titled on the web page itself, but if not, you could always change that if need be, and then we'll attach it. Now I can post it. It says send, but it kind of means send it to the wall, and now that lives on the week 1. When someone were to click in here, they would see that right at the top. If I need to make sure that that's always at the top, that's where now I'm going to click on Pin Post, and that post will be right at the top very nicely for when you enter into the week 1. I do the same thing for other documents. It might be PDF documents of articles I need them to read, or assignment descriptions. I'll do the same idea of posting them as notes. Now let's say we're going to do an assignment. All right, I'll post an assignment now and say this will be our welcome multimedia intro. And because I've done this assignment in the past, I don't have to type in all the details again. It automatically saves any previous assignment that you've typed in. Now I make sure I tag all mine with the mod number first. So if I say show me anything tagged with mod 1, it would be, there it is right there. So I've used it before, my multimedia introduction. And so therefore the only thing that's going to be different this time is the due date, because of course now I'm reusing it, so it will be a different due date. Let's say that this one is due September 3rd. And I have a description that says, see the attached weekly action items list for complete details. So I could type in all the details here, but I prefer instead to attach a document that has all those details in it. Therefore, they're opening up a document that might have more information than just a brief wall post. And I believe that's all good to go, so we will post it. And now we've posted an assignment. An assignment for the teacher side of things looks like this, but for a student, this button will change for them. It will say turn in. And that's one of the things that my Canisius students appreciate the most, is that they don't have to spend a lot of time learning this tool. If they already are a social media user, especially Facebook, they kind of recognize the interface and they understand that whatever they're looking for is going to be on the wall. It's just a matter of finding it. And when it comes to finding it, that's what this little handy dandy thing will do. Filter posts by. They might say, I'm looking right now for all my assignments, so they can filter down by assignments. They might say, I'm looking for anything I've posted in the past myself. That would be by author. They could look at things that were recent replies, because I do require them to interact with a number of required responses to their fellow classmates. So there they could go to recent replies. So even though the wall does grow exponentially big, sometimes hundreds if not thousands of posts by the end of the semester, it's still manageable because everything's arranged chronologically and you can filter down by your posts there. All right, how are we doing on time? All right, we got about 8 minutes to go. So the next thing I want to show you that is very convenient is the planner, also known as the calendar. It's always on the right-hand side. There's a little 30 icon there that you click on. Now the default view is this, in the week view. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan more of the month view, so therefore I can see things a little bit more at an overall glance. Now what's really cool here is the ability to move assignment dates around. Let's say, for example, and I should be careful here because this is a current class I'm teaching, if we're going to move a deadline, so the book highlights, instead of making it due Wednesday, maybe for some reason I have to move it on that date. Just a matter of clicking and dragging now has just changed that due date for all of the students automatically. And I typically find that helpful when we have maybe canceled classes or something comes up and I need to give everybody more time because maybe I needed to make a change on the assignment. So the clicking and dragging technique of moving assignments around is very convenient. If I close out of that and take you now to the gradebook portion, you can see how we have a nice simplified gradebook. Let me do a refresh. And the course I'm teaching now is right there. We are currently in mod 4, I believe. And so at a glance I can see who's still got to catch up. So Jason Morgan here has to catch up. It doesn't have anything in this week. Looks like Larry here's got a couple more things to hand in. And so if I needed to click right in and see what was that 95, click on View Work. Takes me right to it. In this case, Brad was posting his mobile screencasting project. Now, I require my students to learn in public, in the sense I don't want them to just turn in a project to me first, where then only I get the benefit of seeing it. I want all the classmates to see it first, maybe even give some suggestions before they officially turn it in. So what I will do is have them make a wall post. such as this one here from Brad in Mod 4. He posted his screencast with a strategy for learning another language. So this one, the assignment here was create a screencast using a mobile screencasting tool. So he made it, posted it on the wall. Now his classmates are starting to reply on it, either giving him suggestions or advice on what to change or accolades or whatever the case is. And what I'm looking for is proof that this all happened. Proof that Brad posted it, and proof that colleagues have been responding to it. So rather than Brad just turning in this link to me directly of this project, I want to see what's on the screen right here, the project with the people replying. So what I tell the students to do is turn in proof of their post. They do the little drop-down caret, and they go here to this, link to this post. This is a very specific link that's, I call it the breadcrumbs. It takes me directly to the post on the wall so that I don't have to go hunting for it. So this is who? Bradley. Bradley would grab this link, he'd copy it, and when it comes time to turn it in, he would turn in the link to that wall post. And therefore I get a little bit more information than just a simple, here's my project, but here's my project on the wall, and here's all my classmates that responded to it. So there's a pretty typical routine of mine, is having my students turn in proof of their wall posts so I can see the work with all the comments along with it. So are there any requests in our last 4 minutes here we have that I can address? Anything that you're curious about, certain feature sets? Yes. Say it again.
You can embed working HTML feature.
To embed it in a code, let's say we have, let's grab maybe a YouTube video. I can get one here, and we'll do the embed code for that. So let's say this video right here from YouTube, we want to embed that. Randomized answer order. I'm going to go to the place where YouTube gives me the embed code, which would be, why am I not seeing? Share right there, yep, share, embed, grab the code. And now, what it would look like in Edmodo when we make a post is we go to the same place we would put in a link, and it expects you to put in either the link or the embed code, either or. It knows the difference between them. So now when I click on the second box, it will probably grab the title. If not, I can put it in. It's the demo video. And attach. And I'm going to post this to, I'm going to post it to myself so that nobody else in the class gets it and wonders what it is. And we post it. And it looks like this. Now it's going to take a couple minutes for it to actually make all the embed possible, I believe. Well, maybe not. Maybe YouTube is quicker than that. So now it's playable right within the Edmodo interface. If you're looking at this on a mobile device too, it would still stay within the app and would not trigger the Safari browser, for example, to open up. And so as long as you have the embed code, you can paste it in, and your students will be staying right inside that platform. And then all the replies and such are tied right to it directly, so they could be doing replies and commenting right while they're watching the video as well. Can you pin that? Yes, you could. Because it's a post, I can go to, maybe, because it's my own post, maybe I can't pin it. Let's see if I refresh it. Maybe because it's not inside of, it's probably because I posted it to myself. If it was to the class, I would see the pin capability. Maybe if we go inside of a group. When you're inside of a group, that's where the pins show up. Yeah, see, I was not inside of a group either. So assuming that I posted it inside of my EDT 504 course or any one of my groups, it then would show up with the pin available on there. So if you want to see that, I can go back. You got the idea? Yeah, if I were to change, which you can do, you can change a post. Just delete the post and repost it again. I would then post it and make sure that I drop it into a group, because if it's in a group, then you can pin posts. So pin posts must be tied to a group, not to the general wall. That must be a distinction there they had to make. Any other requests before we finish in about 30 seconds? That's quick. All right, well, I thank you for coming. My next one that starts in 10 minutes is on Evernote. Evernote is an app that works across all mobile platforms, and I use it to save information from when did I get my last oil change, to what was the serial number for my lawnmower I just bought, to any information that I don't want to save paper. I take pictures of stuff, throw the paperwork out, and now I have my information with me in Evernote across any device I own. So I'll do a 20-minute session on that starting at 3:40 in this room. So thank you for coming, guys, and enjoy the rest of your time here. Thank you.